Today on Monkey Life. Life and death decisions for the team when woolly monkey Oriana and her unborn baby are on the operating table.
I think we should go for it. I think we should go for it. I think so. But it's very, very risky.
Okay.
Newly arrived baby marmoset TikTok meets his potential foster dad.
Hey, stop that.
But will they bond?
Baby keeps trying to, doesn't know what that means. No.
And a bumper crop of grapes on the vine for the golden-cheeked Gibbons. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You just never know how it's going to work.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's a fraught time for the primate care team who look after Enzo's woolly monkey troop. 6-year-old Oriana is in distress. The team are fairly certain she's pregnant and close to full term. But over the last few days, they've become increasingly concerned.
She's had some very strange swelling to her vulva, which is quite a cause for concern and could be an indication of either hypertension or preeclampsia, which is obviously very serious. So the plan for this morning is we're going to bring her up to the hospital in one of the crates from the pond woolly enclosure, and once she's on the table and asleep, we're going to have a really good thorough once over, give her an ultrasound, check her blood pressure, take some blood, and potentially look at doing a cesarean, depending whether that is indicated at the moment.
The team feel they have to intervene because both Oriana and her unborn infant's life are in danger. This is her first baby, and with Monkey World being the only place with a healthy captive woolly population, every individual is precious. Local vet Dave Harding has been called in to examine the expectant mum.
We don't know for certain that she's definitely pregnant at this stage. We suspect she is. And the obvious thing is if she's not, we'll scan her, and if she's not pregnant, then we might want to be having a look at her heart or for any other signs of any problems there.
Oriana is anaesthetised in the back room to keep her stress levels down, while Saffron explains the seriousness of the situation to the worried woolly monkey team.
If there's any indication that we're looking at like preeclampsia or anything that's potentially life-threatening to her and baby, we're going to need to take it out. But we might scan her heart as well, just to make sure there's nothing going on that front.
Preeclampsia is a condition that causes high blood pressure during pregnancy. It also affects the arteries carrying blood to the placenta and is dangerous for the mother and baby. The condition has proved fatal for woolly monkeys in captivity around the globe.
Right, okay.
Once Dave is satisfied Oriana is stable, he begins his examination and confirms her pregnancy.
Yeah, it's quite a large fetus there.
Large fetus, okay.
Yeah.
She sounds a little bit gurgly as well.
The woolly monkey's breathing is giving the vet team cause for concern. They dim the lights so Dave can carry out an ultrasound to see what's going on internally.
Yeah, it's still a heartbeat there, 4.1. So, I mean, it's quite a decent size. Mm-hmm. It's well formed. Yeah, I mean, the head is right down there.
Yeah.
The baby appears healthy, but Dave spots something wrong with mum Oriana.
She's got a pleural effusion.
Which explains the breathing that we started seeing over the past 2 days.
She's got some abdominal fluid as well.
Abdominal fluid as well?
Yeah.
It's not good. Pleural effusion is water on the lungs. And there's worse to come.
She looks like she's got some heart disease here.
She has heart disease,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe pre-existing prior to baby?
I think so.
Later, the vet team have a tough decision to make and need to make it quickly before Oriana's condition gets worse. Primates are generally social animals, often living in large groups or families. Companionship is important and can help keep them happy, busy, and motivated. The primate care team are constantly looking for ways to engage the various groups and keep them mentally and physically stimulated. The park's 4 red-bellied guenons need little encouragement to try something new. They're always on the go.
We try and make their lives as complex and as interesting, if you like, as possible, so we use enrichment for that. And enrichment can be anything. So we use a rota and we use different types of enrichment, whether they're food-based, sensory, things just to manipulate. So yesterday we were having a ball pit session, so there was some seeds in the bottom of a big box filled with these play ball pits. And a lot of it's based on food. So, you know, we'll use sort of really high-value foods like honey or insects and other things that they particularly like, and we can put those into objects and devices that they have to manipulate, and then they have to sort of spend a bit longer looking for their food. So there's a massive variety of enrichment that we do here at the park.
The guenons are one of the groups that keep Nick and the team on their toes. They're some of the park's most active primates, with Benny and Nia's 2 young daughters, Nala and Biff, usually leading the charge.
Poor Dad particularly, he's really looking for a bit of a break a lot of the time. And it's interesting to watch how they use the enrichment and the other things that we do for them. It's often the younger ones who will go and explore it first because they're more inquisitive. Mum and Dad are a bit more standoffish and they might sit back and keep sentry duty and make sure that everything's safe. But the kids have no such worries and they just go and run in and get involved straight away. So you can see that where you'd expect it to be the dominant male or female that would go first into something, it often isn't the case in this family.
Today, the group are getting a seasonal form of enrichment. Whole sunflowers, stalk, seeds and all.
My favourite, and I think the best thing, enrichment that we can give them is natural things. A pile of leaves gives them more to do than anything convoluted that we might dream up and make ourselves. So we do like to use natural things like seed heads that they would find in the wild and extract the seeds from. It's a much more natural way of being able to give them enrichment.
The guenons have sunflower seeds as part of their normal diet, but this is the first time they've had to work out how to manipulate them free from the flower head. It doesn't take long for Mum Nia to suss it out. Their heads are laden with seeds, which are packed with energy and full of vital minerals and nutrients, essential for the guenon's diet. The youngest member of the group, Nala, soon copies Mum and tucks in. Dad Benny takes a back seat for now, keeping watch to make sure there are no threats to his family.
Benny's much more watchful, and he's actually quite a good dad, but he just keeps himself to himself and out of the way. But he's doing a job. He looks like he's not, but he's doing a job.
But eldest daughter Biff, who's 2.5, is carefree and self-assured.
She has no fear of anything, and she's more confident than the adults. And she's teaching Nala how to be confident as well. So it's a really good big sister for Nala to be confident and brave. But she does give her dad and her mum a hard time because Biff always has to be first at the food. She has to be first outside. She has to be first everything, particularly with enrichment. And so sometimes the others have to just wait for Biff to finish before they get a look in.
Guenons are an arboreal species and completely at home in the trees. They can reach and prise open the seed heads from the flimsiest of high branches.
I'm very pleased that they're doing natural things, but at the same time, Alan and Lee, the gardeners, are not so happy because they've killed off every big tree in their enclosure. They eat all of the leaves in the spring. As soon as they start to come out, as soon as the buds start to come out, they're gone. And they really do love their browse. They eat a lot of foliage. And they also strip the bark. It keeps their teeth healthy and it keeps them occupied. They're doing what they should be doing.
Once they've had their fill of sunflowers, it's time to relax and enjoy some family grooming. But not for long. 2 minutes later, fun's back on the menu, with a full-on play fight for the sisters. It's been less than 24 hours since the park welcomed its smallest resident, common marmoset TikTok, who was rescued by the RSPCA from a home in Essex. Soon after arriving, the 6-month-old youngster was introduced to Clydie in the hope that the adult female would take to him and become his foster mum. The team's decision to let the pair spend the night together paid off.
It was really lovely to see. Clydie was in her basket and the baby was on her, and I can just hear a little happy, quiet twittering between the pair of them. She wasn't interested in me at all. She was just far too busy grooming her baby and lip smacking at him and just basically mothering him.
But the family won't be complete until TikTok meets Clydie's partner, Ronnie. As far as the team are aware, he hasn't lived with infants before, so they're not sure how the adult male will react when coming face to face with TikTok. The slide to Ronnie's bedroom is opened, and Clydie comes through with TikTok on board. At first, everything is relatively calm. Then TikTok bravely comes off Clydie and starts exploring. Ronnie follows. There's lots of calling as the 3 marmosets move around the bedroom. But when TikTok gets too close to Ronnie, the introduction gets a little heated.
Hey, stop that.
Ronnie starts some angry chuntering, a vocalisation that little TikTok doesn't seem to understand.
Baby keeps trying to, doesn't know what that means. No. Come on, Clydie. Get in there.
He doesn't realise Ronnie isn't being friendly.
Ronnie, tell him, Clydie. I'm not sure he's even ever seen a baby before.
Slowly, Ronnie starts to relax. Clydie reassures the youngster, and things begin to settle down.
That's nice. Nice and calm. Just starts to slowly calm down. Everyone's just chilled out a little bit, and I think Ronnie's realised the baby isn't a threat and that he's actually a little baby. We would have preferred him maybe to stick a bit closer to Clydie to start with, but he was straight in there interested in Ronnie, which I think maybe threw Ronnie off a little bit, made him a little bit overwhelmed with the situation at first.
In marmoset society, both parents carry their infants around and share the heavy lifting duties. The team are delighted when Ronnie allows TikTok to briefly climb on board.
Good boy, Ronnie. Oh, lovely.
It's a big moment in this new family's development. Alison and Charlie don't want to push it too far for now.
It's just best to take a break, let everyone just calm down. The break will also give Clydie and the baby a chance just to reconnect and rebond, and just to kind of get in the baby's head that if he's ever worried, he should be returning to Clydie, not chasing after Ronnie.
In just 24 hours, TikTok has gone from living in totally inappropriate conditions to potentially having a loving family of his own, with a wonderful future ahead. There are 24 different species at the park, all with differing dietary requirements. Keeping the primates busy and active at feeding time is a priority for the primate care teams. Today, golden-cheeked Gibbons Peanut and Pung Yo are benefiting from a donation which fits the bill. Luscious grapes still on the vine.
It's definitely new and interesting to them. When we normally feed them grapes for a treat, they would just get individual ones that we can buy from the store, so they wouldn't come with all the lovely foliage. So I definitely think they'll go for the fruit first. That's the tastiest bit. But you might see them after picking at all of the leaves, because naturally in the wild they would eat a lot of foliage as well.
To replicate the gibbon's natural wild environment, Sian is wrapping the vines around the ropes in the enclosure and suspending them in hard-to-reach places.
But naturally in the wild, their food wouldn't be served to them nice and easy. They would have to go out and forage for it and find it themselves. So we have these pulley feeders that will get them up in the trees. They are arboreal primates, so it just replicates what they would naturally find. So yeah, it just makes them work that little bit harder for their food this morning. So you can see it covers the grapes nice and well.
Grapes do form part of the gibbon's diet, but this smaller variety, still on the vine, will be an interesting and stimulating change. The pair are straight out and immediately tuck into the easier-to-reach grapes. Peanut loves her food, and her mate Pung Yo usually has to wait his turn. But with today's bumper crop, there's more than enough to go round. And Pung Yo keeps Peanut at arm's length by heading high to secure his own supply. In the wild, gibbons occasionally come across a tree laden with ripe fruit and gorge themselves. But the produce available in the UK is very different to the natural fruits found in the forests of Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia.
We do restrict the fruits here, and it's mainly because the fruits that we have in the UK are a lot higher sugar content than the wild counterparts. So we do reduce it. But then also the gibbons, the other parts of their diet consists of different foliage, insects, so we need to create a balanced diet. So reducing the fruit, our vegetables and root vegetables are more of an equivalent to the wild fruit counterparts.
Peanut never misses a trick where food's concerned, and she spotted plenty in the suspended feeder high up in the trees. She reaches in to prize them free, one by one. The manoeuvre is accomplished by hanging from one arm, demonstrating how well adapted gibbons are to life in the trees. Pung Yo and Peanut have both come a long way since being smuggled from the wild for the illegal pet trade. They've been together for nearly 20 years and raised 3 children, and their bond is as strong now as it's ever been. At the Park's hospital, the lives of woolly monkey mum Oriana and her unborn baby hang in the balance.
Blood pressure has as well.
Blood pressure's dropped.
50.
Okay, thank you.
Oriana has fluid around her lungs and heart, probably caused by preeclampsia, a dangerous condition in expectant mums. Vet Dave Harding has some tough decisions to make.
I don't know whether we wake her up and give her furosemide, because I think she might die if we just...
Open her up.
If we open her up.
Dave has 2 options. Wake Oriana up to give her the drugs she needs to get rid of the fluid and allow her to give birth naturally, or remove the baby via cesarean section and then try to deal with the woolly mum's other medical problems.
Do you think she's strong enough to give birth? She's got all of these issues.
I don't know whether she's... I think we're sort of damned either way, but
yeah.
I'm only talking out aloud at the minute.
No, I understand.
Sort of, yeah.
It's a huge decision to make.
I'm happy with your judgment,
Yeah. I think we should go for it. I think we should go for it. I think so. I think we have to, because what if this is all preeclampsia? We've got to get it.
Yeah.
I think so. I think but it's very, very risky.
Okay.
The decision is made. Dave is going to deliver the baby via an emergency C-section. While he scrubs up in readiness, the vet team prepare Oriana for the operation.
Try and keep her on her front as much as possible.
Okay.
Because it just help her breathing. And then we'll literally, at the last minute, we'll flip her.
Dave gets to work. A cesarean is normally straightforward, but this is no ordinary procedure.
Heart rate's up to about 130, Dave.
Okay.
The team are reassured by the sound of Oriana's heartbeat on the monitor. Minutes later, Dave lifts the tiny infant out.
Okay, who's going to take the fetus? Okay, you got. Okay.
Ruth from the primate care team wraps the baby in a blanket, massaging it to try and stimulate its breathing.
Baby breathing? Is he taking breaths? Yeah. Yeah, give him a rub. If you put your finger in to just try and clear the airway.
There is a heartbeat, but the infant is struggling to breathe.
Hayden, is there any chance you could take over just trying to revive baby?
That's fine.
Thank you.
One of the vet team takes over.
Are you getting anything from baby at all? Anything?
Yeah, heart rate's definitely increasing.
Great, thank you.
Dave sews Oriana up as quickly as he can. Her breathing still isn't right.
Oh, I am getting a bit of jaw tone now, Dave.
Okay, yeah, fine. Turn her up a little bit. That's fine. I mean, I'm nearly done. That's
Yeah,
good.
I'll just turn her up for a couple of seconds so she's
That's
not...
fine.
But as Dave finishes sewing up Oriana, it becomes obvious there's a problem with her baby.
It's not getting anything. I've not had any sort of response for her.
No.
Oh, I think we call it now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's unsurprising given how poorly Mum is.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
looks,
not
I mean,
surprising.
you know, it's not surprising. But
It's heartbreaking for everyone. But attention must now turn to saving Oriana.
I just hope she's all right.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's
we've got
my
her this
main
far.
worry.
Thankfully, the woolly monkey's condition stabilises. Another ultrasound reveals that the pericardial effusion has all but disappeared.
If the fluid that she's got all relates to the pregnancy, then the hope is that the prognosis for recovery will be pretty good. It's whether there's anything more going on. So we have taken some blood tests. The blood looks quite thin, so we think she might be a little bit anemic. But we're going to get those back to the surgery ASAP and get some bloods running and see what they show.
In the meantime, Oriana will be given drugs to clear the rest of the fluid and be under close observation to monitor her progress. The team can only hope she makes it through today's ordeal. Next time on Monkey Life. Botox for slow loris Bruce.
I just want it to go into the tissue that we want it to affect rather than a muscle and cause paralysis to the side of his face, for example.
And a sad goodbye to a much-loved Stumpy.